अर्त्य जल बीच सम कहियत बिंदण बिन। ओ रामा कहियत बिंदण बिन। बंदो सीताराम पद जिनहि परम प्रिय किंद। ओ रामा जिनहि परम प्रिय किंद। सियावर रामचंद्र पद जय शरण शंकर हरि ओम जय सिया राम हरि ओम जय जय सिया राम शंकर हरि ओम जय जय सिया राम। I do homage, Sant Goswami Tulsidas says, to the feet of Sita and Ram, for they are the refuge of the distressed. If you're in distress, they're the house of refuge. Their names becomes a house of refuge. They represent hope. They represent prosperity. They represent relief. It is said that Prabhu Ram is Kausilya Hitakari and Ahilya Tari. Kausilya, the mother of Rama, Hitkari, he is the remover of her difficulties. Ahilya Tari, Ahilya, there is a beautiful katha about this person by the name of Ahilya that was turned into a stone. And then the Divine Lord touched her, the stone, with his feet and she became. So he is that name that has that power to bring relief to all those in whatever form of distress there is. Thus the name of God is been revealed as being the most powerful thing that you and I can become connected to. He goes on to explain to us, Bando Ram Raghubar ko, Bando Ram Naam Raghubar ko, Hetu Krishan Vanu Hir ko, Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Vidhi Hari Haramaya Ved Pranto, Vidhi Hari Haramaya Ved Pranto, Aguna Nupam Guna Nidanto, Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama. A light of hope. The light of hope is not the light that we see here. The light of hope is a light that we cannot see. Now that sounds confusing, doesn't it? The light of hope is a light that we cannot see, but it is a light that shows us the way. The light of hope is a light we cannot see, but it's a light that shows us the way. The light of hope is a thought. It's good advice. It's a solution to a problem. You know, you see, you understand the light of hope. You cannot see it, but it allows you to see. It brings clarity to the mind. It is a light that you cannot see, but it is a light that allows you to see. A thought, an idea, a concept, it's not something that's tangible. You cannot see it, but it allows you to see the future. The name of God is that light of hope. You will not see a light. But when you take the name of God and make it profound in your life, it brings things clear, crystal clear to you on the all conditions. It is a light that you cannot see, but which allows you to see. Sometimes it will be very difficult to explain this to anyone, but listen carefully. It's a light that you cannot see, but which allows you to see. Can you see your eyes without looking into a mirror? But it is that which allows you to see, but you cannot see it. Thus, we may not be able to see God, but His name is like a beacon that allows us to head in the right direction and see clearly the path we want to. प्रेम से सीतापति रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. He says this name is so powerful that we must take it. Ram Naam Mani Deepadaru Ji Hare Haridwar O Rama Ji Hare Haridwar Tulsi Bhitar Baandharu Jo Chahas Mujiyar O Rama Jo Chahas Mujiyar Yavar Ramchandra Pad Gay Sharanam This name, it is so powerful that when the world seems the darkest, when we are totally lost, when we are confused, when everything seems to be impossible, it can bring the light and hope by having faith in that name and that what it represents. You know, it is said that those who are lost at sea hope that someone will rescue them. And they can see the ship that will come. They will see the people who recognize them because they want to be rescued. But he said the person who doesn't want to be rescued, there can be ships out there all over the place and they can't see a thing. They do not want to be rescued. But the person who wants God will see, even in the darkest of places, will see that God, because they want to be rescued. And the rescue here from drowning in the world of materialism and Maya. And the rope that someone throws out to you, the line, the retrieval line when you're in the ocean and you're drowning, can be looked upon as a name of God, that you grab onto it. You know, when you're drowning, anybody here have experience of drowning? Nearly drowning, anybody? Put your hands up, please. Did? Only three? How many of you can swim? Put your hands up. Then the rest of you will drown for sure. I nearly drowned at least 5 times. At least, I remember 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. And then somebody grabbed me and when you are drowning, you will actually grab at straws. Anything. The person who's trying to save you will grab them too and pull them down. That's why you're told if you are rescuing someone who is drowning, you don't let them hold you, you hold their hair and pull them. Have you ever noticed that? You don't let them hold on to you. So, Jadi, you ask them? Oh, you are? Yeah, they're drowning, right? You have to ask them, they say, no, I haven't got time to talk to you right now, I'm drowning. You turn them on their back and you pull them, hold them and pull them, because they will drown themselves. So the person who has no hope will drown themselves constantly, but the person who has hope in God is always being retrieved. The name of God is always a line that they hold on to. We all must take the name of God. Now someone said, Panditji, how do I decide which name to take? Well, I have one sure method. You may not buy it, but try it. If you come to this mandir regularly, come here on a Wednesday night or a Thursday night, sometime after 8 o'clock, between 8:30, 8 and 9:30. The mandir is very quiet, not much activity. Even the pandits are very quiet. You come and sit here in this mandir and you look at these murtis. And I will tell you a secret. Don't tell anybody. One of them will smile at you. One of these murtis. But only you will see them smiling, no one else will. And you can't tell anybody that you've seen them smile because it's your secret. Try it. And then that is your issue. Now if someone is a Panditji, that doesn't make sense. How could that be my issue? Well, I ask you this. I've asked this question before and I want you to think carefully about it. When you first came to Canada and you got your first job and you went to the place of work the first day, obviously you knew no one there except the HR person who hired you. And you walk into this place and there's so many people there. How did you decide who you would talk to first? Which person? There's about 10 people standing there, they're all doing their own thing, and you need to talk to somebody. Who do you choose to talk to? The good-looking person? The smiling person, So, you like a smile. So if somebody's got a big smirk on their face, you're avoiding them, right? So smiling people are the people you want to talk to. They are approachable. And because they smile, you will always remember that was the first person you talked to, by the way. You'll never forget them in your life. You might leave that job the same day, but you'll say, when I went to that person. I know. And even when you travel on a train or a plane or a boat or a car, or someone who smiles at you, you remember them years afterwards. Just like that, I don't know, it happens to me, I don't know about you. Flash, and I remember somebody on the street that will smile at me. I don't know them, but they smile, I know. I wonder. I will not remember those who had given me that tough look. I don't want to remember them again. So, this smiling face, we connect with the smiling face. So that is why I'm suggesting to you that they will smile. And by the way, all our murtis, if you go to their face, you will see that carefully, they have smiling faces. Their faces are painted in such a way that there is a gentle, not a very, very obvious smile, but what is called a serene and spiritual smile. The texture of their face is so smooth that when you see it, you want to touch it with your hands, just for the gentleness of it. And then you will feel that joy of that connection with the Ishtadev. Prem Sitapati Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai. In this final offering, we talk about the name of the divine. Brahma Ram te naam vara, Vardayak Vardan, O Rama Vardayak Vardan. Ram Charit Sat Koti Maha, Liye Mahesh Jiya Jaan, O Rama, Liye Mahesh Jiya Jaan. Siyavar Ramchandra Bhargava Sharanam Shankar Hari Om Jai Jai Siya Ram Shankar Hari Om Jai Jai Siya Ram. Sant Goswami Tulsidas declares, the name इस प्रकार नाम ब्रह्मा और राम दोनों से बड़ा है और वर देने वाले का भी वरदाता है. In essence, he is declaring that the name of the Divine Lord is more powerful than the Lord himself. How could that be? How could the name be more powerful than the person? If you don't know the name, you can't connect with the person. And when you know the name, the person may not be there, but you call their name and they will be with you. Their name will create that connection. I want to share with you something that I witnessed recently. I attended a function and there was what they call a mentalist. Anybody knows what's a mentalist? A mentalist is someone who actually brings people together and creates mental connections between them without them knowing that they're connected, and makes them do things that they don't know they're doing. And let me explain to you what he did. Got two ladies, I witnessed this myself. Put them standing side by side, one there, one there. And he said to them both, close your eyes, close your eyes. He says, and he goes over to the first lady and he touches her on the hand. He says, are you feeling my touch? She says, yes, I am. Good. He says, he touches her on the shoulder. He says, feeling my shoulder? Yes. He says, okay, open your eyes now. He says, I want you all to think of this word. He gave them a word and you think about it. And he said, close your eyes. And then he goes to her and he put his hands, just touches her, and he walks over and touches the other lady. And he says, do you feel that I touch you? The lady says yes, and the other lady says yes. And then he moves away and he says, do you feel me touching you? He says, you're still touching me, aren't you? They close their eyes. He says, yes. Well, we are seeing that he's not touching you. That was it. Then he goes to the first lady and he takes a pen and he marks something in her hands. Okay? And he doesn't say anything. He goes over to the second lady and he says, did you felt what I did to you? She said, yes, you marked something in my hands. Then he goes over to the first lady, right? And he says, I want you to move your hand the way I'm moving it for you. Puts her hands and he moves it. The other lady moved her hand exactly the same way without him touching her. And the person who was standing there had no knowledge. The public was seeing. Of course, I spoke to the other lady afterwards. I knew her very well. My point is that we all have what is called an aura. That it is a spiritual aura that can be connected. And that aura it's what they call in Vedanta and in spirituality, we call the causal body and the physical body. We all are very conscious of the physical body. But this physical body is made up of materials, two gross elements, earth and water, and the rest is air, space and heat. When the physical body dissipates, the causal body is still around. We may call that the spirit or the spirit world. But remember that science has proven that it does exist. We are talking about the name of God. We're saying that this name is greater. When we call upon our Pitri Dev, those who are departed, we call their names and we make offerings unto them. When we do Pitri Puja, in Srad Karana, that is why many people are not invited to come and ladies are not invited to be there, because we actually invoke the departed. We invoke those who have died. We invoke the past generations in mantras, chanting, calling their name, they go through. We call upon them to be there. And then we call upon the person who has departed to be there also. We actually invoke what you call the causal body. Science agrees. When we call upon the name of God, the physical Rama will not step up to us. But his Shakti, his aura is always with us. In these murtis that we see here, when they show you that fan behind the head, it is intended to simulate the aura. That around the Lord there is always the rays of sunshine. That aura in the body. And when we do arati, Sajam chavarti sanyuktam vaina yogitam maya deepam prihana devya trailokam mirapa. Literal translation is saying, as we wave these sacred lights around your divine form, we pray that the aura which emanates from you permeates my body and ignites the spark of divinity within me. This is one reason for Jyot. And this is why it is so commonly practiced in Hinduism. And then we all over the body. Let the aura of that light that is divine ignite the aura of spirituality within me, making me spiritual, divine spiritual. Prem so Sitapati Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai. Our katha tonight was intended to talk about Ishtadev. Let me briefly review that if you have not got an Ishtadev and you do not want to go through this process that I've talked about, someone will say, Panditji, is it not by your planet or does it not have to be given to you by your guru? No, none of the above. It is something you must become. If I tell you that this should be your Ishtadev but you can't seem to relate to that, then it's not. But if you can relate to something, then it's easy for it to become your Ishtadev. So if you do not have one and you're having a problem identifying, I'd be happy to sit and talk to you and to help you to connect, to make that connection. I am not a mentalist, by the way. Okay, so we will not do that. Okay, so we are going to now conclude with Bhog and then Aarti. Huh? Okay, so Aarti. So we want to thank everybody for being here tonight. And tonight's Pretty Birds is sponsored by Neela, Mohan and family. Let's give them a wonderful round of applause, please. Please join with us in Kirtanam for a few minutes as we prepare for Aarti. Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Siya Ram, Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 प्रेम से सीतापति रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। सभी लोग खड़े हो जाए, आरती करेंगे। Everyone please stand. आरती रामायण की।